such a huge loss to Manchester City. Now, I know the Man City have managed quite happily without, say, Erling Haaland for a few months, even someone like Kevin De Bruyne. It wasn't a whole season, of course, but Rodri's so key. They haven't lost in their last 48 league games in which he started, which is absolutely a phenomenal record, of course. Some of the names being suggested to fill that void. I mean, Guardiola himself said he's irreplaceable. You've got to have somebody there on the pitch. Obviously, Gundogan coming back seems like a very canny move now. Matheus Nunes is one, although some people suggesting that perhaps that's not the role for him. Mateo Kovacic.
He's the obvious one.
He came on when Rodri went off, didn't he?
Yeah, so I don't know if you would keep the same system and sub him in directly for Rodri. I'm not sure that Guardiola would do that.
You might also put John Stones in. And I think possibly the more intriguing option that we'd probably see a little bit of is maybe Rico Lewis as well, because they're
Guardiola's little lamb.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, that's
what we established
him,
then, just in this conversation. He's got five.
He's got loads of options. Yeah, all of them seem reasonable.
They're all really good players.
And they don't really weaken the team.
No.
Did you like it when he called Rico Lewis his little Philip lamb? And I was like,
nice.
Lose the Philip.
Yeah, little lamb.
Yeah, it's lovely that.
Pepe had a little lamb.
I'd love to see. I want to see more of Rico Lewis. He's such an exciting player and such a tenacious player. His tackling stats are particularly impressive.
João Pelina-esque.
They're not that impressive.
So we've seen a lot of the stats going around about Rodri. You mentioned one there, the Premier League games thing, Marcus, but there's a few more in there as well. So obviously the FA Cup final was his only loss in all competitions last season, because the defeat to Real Madrid happened on penalty, so it doesn't count as a loss. But interestingly, City lost 4 of the 5 games he missed last season. A lot's been made of that, but I think it's really an oversimplification, because he misses so few games that I think City never really need to come up with a plan to play without him. And as you mentioned, Luke, we come up with 5 options there, and they will get to that. I don't think it's a massive loss, but people are saying it's. I think people are thinking it's going to be a bigger loss than it actually is, because of the quality they have and the ability they have to adapt.
Possibly. I mean, when you talk about the 5 options, they are 5.
They're very different,
differing options, and I would.
Well, they give him a lot of flexibility, though, don't they?
Look, I mean, again, they've done all right when Erling Haaland was out the team, and he missed a lot of football, and they were fine, and De Bruyne as well.
Well, Rodri also missed the start of the season this season, and they played fine, and they're top of the league still.
He's going to be a huge loss, but despite that, and despite what maybe 1 or 2 people are saying, like, what about the title? They'll be in for the title.
Of course they will.
It's too good. And this is the thing with Guardiola. Guardiola is the superstar at Manchester City. Yes, Rodri's there. Erling Haaland, we start naming names. But it's Guardiola because of that system he created, because of that footballing philosophy, because of everything that man does. One of the greatest managers of all time. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
Yeah, so he'll have come up with a plan for this at 3:00 in the morning 5 weeks ago, just in case.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I think what's the interesting.
But you have to say it's a huge loss.
But it is a huge loss. What the interesting angle is last season. I know it's quite an abstract way of looking at it, but I think it's quite interesting to think about the idea that Man City beat Arsenal to the title last season by 2 points. How many points is Rodri worth?
Yeah.
If it's more than 2, then it becomes really interesting, provided Arsenal can keep up their level. It's very early to say. We're talking about this towards the end of September. Long way to go. But these title races, they hinge on these different moments, and the impact could be felt. I don't think it'll be a massive change. I think Guardiola's got this system that he plays, quite a weird system actually, that no one really talks about that much. That 3-2-4-1 type thing.
I mean,
yeah. But I'm sure he'll work it out. But also the other thing that they want to be measured on is winning the Champions League, right? This project they've had, they've managed to get over that hump and win it. Surely they want to win it more than once. Does it make it more or less likely they can do both those things? It makes it less likely. Therefore, it's interesting. So we'll see what happens. I imagine, they wouldn't be this unprofessional, but if they were for just a second, there might have been a few whoops and a few cheers around the Arsenal training ground when the news broke.
Yeah,
because I'd be celebrating like a motherfucker if it was me.
What, like you did at half-time during the Euros final?
Yeah, I did. I was like, brilliant.
Yeah, we all did that.
Yeah,
brilliant. We're not going to get hammered.
Yeah.
And it was a respectable loss.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So Arsenal going to lose the title and goal difference.
Yeah. But Jimmy,
that would be the next closest thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You don't
want goals scored.
Yeah. You don't want
own goal from Alexander Zinchenko tops it off.
Yeah. You don't want to win a title race. Win a league title because of anything particularly bad happens to the other team. You want to win it because you're the best team. But Jim, it's obviously great news for Arsenal fans.
Well, yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, you don't want to sort of.
You don't want to say great news
revel in
about
the
bad
enjoyment
news
of another person's misfortune, but City potentially being weaker is obviously welcome.
Yeah, totally.
I
Yeah.
mean, I've been wasting my life if that's the case.
But let's be honest. Again, going back to England in tournaments, as I will, you want a preferable draw.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember that when Danny Murphy was punditing, and he said, "What?" Chappers turned around to him and said, "What? You want England to get an easier draw, and you want other teams to be weakened, so it's easy for England?" He just went, "Yes."
How are we talking about that now?
I didn't even notice it happening.
I know, exactly. That's how he gets you.
And that was Russia 2018, everybody. I just went back 6 years.
Still doing it.
Up yours, everybody. All right, Jim, let's talk about Arsenal and the dark arts then.
Yeah.
Because that happened more recently.
Sorry, can you just say hashtag dark forces, not dark arts?
It's nice to.
Has anybody heard from Keezy? What's he thinking about this?
No,
I bet he's composing a blog right now.
We should find out because he is our key to live sport. So you carry on. I'll find out what he's been saying.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Premier League.
I'm fucking blocked, aren't I? Okay. Hang on a sec. Let me have a look.
You can find his blog on Google.
Use your
thoughts on
use your different account.
Yeah.
Premier League clubs have reportedly sent concerns about gamesmanship and Arsenal's repeated use of those dark arts throughout last season to Pugmol.
Pugmol involved?
Yeah.
You shit yourself, Jim.
I love that Jim is quoting Tony Pulis there after Istanbul.
Yeah.
It's nice to have the dark forces on our side, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm growing a moustache so I can twirl it mischievously.
Yes.
Yeah, I personally think it's a little bit overblown.
Was it a bit naughty that you got Dick Dastardly on set piece routines? You employed him as set piece coach. It's just so funny seeing Arsenal spoken about this. Of course, it was not that long ago when they were seen as a bit lightweight. Although that is quite a long time ago. So let's not be silly here. Mikel Arteta was asked about the criticism of Arsenal's approach to the second half of the game against Man City, and said we had to play that game. We were in the same situation with Xhaka after 38 minutes, and we lost 5-0. We'd better learn. If not, I would be thick, very thick.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that anyone kind of thinks Arsenal should have done anything different other than adopt those sort of siege tactics. Now, I understand the sort of the cramp kind of stoppages and things like that are probably a little bit exaggerated. I imagine a few of them were real if you're playing that type of game against City for that long. Personally, I don't mind it, and I don't care who knows it.
Okay, we'll let you.
But you're missing the point, aren't you?
Am I?
Yeah, because
What is the point then?
The point is that Mikel Arteta complains like anyone that will listen after Newcastle do it against Arsenal. That's the point.
Yeah. I don't mind hypocrisy.
Oi.
Fine. Well, there you go.
Luke, talk to me about this. Talk to me.
Hypocrisy is a combination of me judging people, gossiping, and then me doing whatever I want, even if it's the same thing with all the associated benefits.
We know
you're missing out.
We know you. My point. I wouldn't at all complain about how Arsenal approached that second half against City. That's not my position at all. My position is, as the referee's there to referee the game. He's got to take control of it. Arsenal need to do whatever they can do to win. I have no issue with that at all. I genuinely think, though, the reason people are kicking off is because Arteta does like to live by the sword.
Sure.
And so then he has to die by
Well,
the
last
sword.
season, was it like when he was very openly talking? Did they write an open letter, or am I
Yeah, I think
there was all that stuff
after the Newcastle game.
It wasn't open. It wasn't an open letter. It was just a letter to the FA.
club statement.
Yeah, the
okay.
Premier League, or
which are cousins of open letters.
which they accidentally
But
sent.
that part of that was to do with the VAR decision they weren't happy with, wasn't it? As well,
and I think the ball
going out,
going
play,
out,
or
or
all
not
that kind
going
of
out.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he is trying to sort of channel the spirit of Sir Alex Ferguson at times here and so on. And I think with Arteta, that's it. He's trying to just every little marginal game.
I should also add to what I just said that's my position. Arteta behaves the way he behaves. He wants every aggregate marginal gain. Arsenal fans absolutely love him because he fights so hard for us. I get all that totally, and I'm not suggesting for 1 second that he shouldn't. He's doing anything wrong or whatever. But I'm just saying that he is going to attract attention if his team's set up like that and play like that. After he's complained about that kind of stuff happening against him at the Emirates against Newcastle, a game I was at, by the way.
Yes.
Which was really, from where I was sitting, quite ridiculous by Newcastle. Nick Pope taking fucking 25 seconds for every goal kick and all the rest of it.
But he was still hitting the power play.
They had 11 men.
happens,
They had 11 men though, right? So it's slightly different.
But Arsenal will be just much better.
Well, I think talking about the game and the sort of very defensive approach. I mean, you can get into sort of football ideologies and moral arguments and all that kind of crap. But he's right to say that they got absolutely hammered when they went down to 10 men. In fact, even because Bernardo Silva mentioned Jurgen Klopp saying, well, at least they kind of went toe-to-toe with us and words to that effect. But then they went down to 10 men once when Mane got sent off for accidentally sort of booting the goalkeeper. And I think did they get beat 5-0 that day as well? So you've got enough there. And also Arsenal had a lead to protect. So I have no problem with them parking the bus like that.
If you expect Arsenal to carry on playing the way they're going to play, down to 10 men against Man City away from home, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
A total idiot. Of course he's right to defend that.
Yeah, so that kind of thing I think is a little bit silly. But Arteta did say in reference to his time at Man City with regards to all this, I was there for 4 years, I have all the information so I know, believe me. And they think it was maybe in reference to Man City getting a little bit Humpty Dumpty when a result doesn't go their way and so on. Although he did start talking about facts a lot and I thought, he sounds a bit Rafa Benitez. So I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Leave the folder away.
Yeah. I think, a lot of top managers are, really fucking annoyed when they lose.
Yeah.
That's part of their makeup, right? I know plenty of people who have to interview managers after games who will say, oh God, I'm not looking forward to this because it's going to be so difficult because a manager's so pissed off because they lost the game or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of what drives them forward, I suppose. Look, Arteta is the character he is. We know that. And as I've already said, I expect Arsenal fans to absolutely love him. And if he was a manager of my club, I'd love him, I think, because he feels it so passionately and he relates to everyone so well. But he occasionally, from the outside looking in, he is a risible character.
I want to know what these sluggy little clubs are.
And
sluggy little clubs coming after us.
Yeah, and
grassing us to Pugmall.
Yeah, leave Pugmall out. Don't be a grass on Pugmall.
They're not going to clarify anything.
No. I'll tell you something, you can guarantee you got a Fulham's vote. Can you sell us another one of your players?
Pugmall will clarify something to you, actually, in about 9 weeks' time, and it'll be Michael Owen doing it.
Right, okay, well, we look forward to that.
Yeah, we don't look forward to that.
No, okay, fine. Yeah. So, yes, Arsenal, I all agreed. Now, we mentioned Rodri's injury, of course. Well, let's go to Barcelona. This is quite an intriguing situation. Marc-Andre ter Stegen has suffered a ruptured patella tendon, which happened on Sunday, so he'll be out for a while, which, of course, is a devastating injury for them. But what has been quite incredible is goalkeepers are offering to come out of retirement to play for Barcelona. I'm thinking, I don't know if this works like this, chaps, but
I've seen 4 of them already.
Yeah, well,
Wojciech Szczesny, Loris Karius, Keylor Navas and Claudio Bravo.
I love that Bravo's going, hey, I know the club. Yeah, but we know you as well.
And Navas is going, I know the other club.
Yeah,
that's a bold one, isn't it?
I absolutely love this. It's just any goalkeeper worth his salt.
Bravo's 41 years old.
Superb, isn't it?
Yeah. Although, I mean, they only have one other goalkeeper in the first team squad, Inaki Peña, who must be thinking, can I just not do it?
Yeah.
I've been here a while.
I was under the impression this is what happens if he can't play.
But do you think, though, I think... but Navas hasn't retired, by the way, so he's I
didn't say he had.
He's a free agent.
I just said he played for Real Madrid.
That is fair.
He did.
Yeah, he should be redundant to the idea of him playing for Barcelona.
Right. We live in the world of Amazon All or Nothing, X Factor, Mission to Burnley, Don't Look Down.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that is. If we're not having some kind of X Factor style competition for this, we are missing a trick massively.
We are. We're better than that as a society, as a world.
You can imagine it now. All the keepers who want to play for Barcelona, they can't afford to pay you.
Yeah.
But if you want to play,
but that's the thing. Barcelona have really got to look at this.
Yeah.
Although they don't seem to understand how basic arithmetic.
Well, do you reckon it's a money-saving exercise just to not have a keeper?
Yeah, I hope so. But again, they don't understand basic principles of math.
Yeah.
And so they'll probably just sign a goalkeeper 50 million in the January transfer window. It's like, you can't, lads, you cannot do that.
Surely it's going to be Szczesny, right?
Yeah, where's Gigi Buffon?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
That'd be lovely.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it?
I think it's going to be Szczesny.
Yeah, I mean, he's I think probably the youngest out of those, and only retired like in the summer. So.
Well,
and also, by the way, he's not that old.
No.
And if you think to yourself, okay, I've done everything I want to do in football. I've played a lot, played international tournaments, played for big clubs. I'm kind of happy with that. I think he officially said he wanted to retire to spend more time with his family. Barcelona come knocking.
Surely
he's 34 as well.
Yeah.
Surely Chelsea have got a keeper they can spare. Is Hilario still on the books?
Transfer window's not open.
You having a bit of Hilario?
I'm always having a bit of Hilario.
What about Ross Turnbull?
Is he still always there?
I don't know.
What's happened to those? One last lovely old job.
What's happened to Hilario? I want to know that now.
Yeah.
I want to know what's happened to Ross Turnbull.
There you go.
So Enrique Hilario is 48.
Okay.
and hasn't played for 10 years. So that answers that one.
So he's lower down the order then.
Yeah, so he might be an option. Ross Turnbull is only a mere 39 and hasn't played for 7 years since he didn't make a league appearance for Leeds United in 2017. So both options.
It seems unlikely at this late stage. All right, everybody, coming up in the second half, Everton look like they're going to be taken over, which is very exciting. We've got some matches to look forward to tonight. And the AFC Wimbledon fundraiser has
taken a turn.
It's taken a turn. We'll leave that there and come back to it in a moment. See you in a bit.
How are you feeling after it all?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's something. I'm glad I've done it so far.
We followed your progress, of course. It was the American Smooth. What are we doing next week? Do we know
I'm
yet?
doing the salsa to Fireball by Pitbull. Is it Fireball by Pitbull?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
With the kids.
Yeah.
Very much is, Paul. Very much is.
You
Come
can't
on.
can you?
Great to get a cultural...
Can you still phone in, or did Ant and Deck ruin that as well?
I don't know. Great to get a cultural touch point confirmed by Theo Walcott there, though.
Is it Fireball by Pitbull?
It is, yeah, you're right. You're down with the kids.
Yeah.
Is Pitbull down with the kids? I'm not sure.
I think he's down with everybody.
Yeah, of course
I think he transcends age.
Yeah.
If you look at the man, because he's 67.
So if you can't,
and he looks fantastic.
if you can't enjoy your Saturday night watching Paul Merson dancing to Fireball by Pitbull on BBC television, what can you do? Eh?
Oh dear.
Yeah.
More enjoyable than being one of the money men at Everton at the moment, I would say. But huge news on Monday, of course, because Everton have finally found some new owners. It would appear they're not in at the club yet, so you know how these things work, but it has been agreed so far. The Friedkin Group has reached an agreement to buy Farhad Moshiri's 94% stake in the club. Now, this time last year, 777 Partners had agreed a deal to buy the club, but they were unable to complete the Premier League's owners and directors test. But this group are expected to be fine. They own Roma, so that's where you would have probably heard the name. And Dan Friedkin reportedly owns one of the largest collections of vintage military warplanes in America.
I don't think that sealed the deal, did it?
I'd like to think that they will be travelling in style for some away games.
He knows what he's doing. He actually piloted a Spitfire in the movie Dunkirk.
Did he really?
In the movie, landing a plane with its engine off.
That's impressive.
Has
he put that in his presentation to Everton, do you reckon?
If he hasn't, then he's a fool.
Yeah.
Could he? I mean, obviously not, but you know the angle's not right. But land on the pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The angle's not right. You've thrown one yourself, have you?
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking it's
Fly to the new stadium.
more likely a helicopter.
Landing on the pitch in a Spitfire would be a quite bold move, wouldn't it?
Would it be more bolder than that time Theresa May got in a Spitfire to go after the EU?
Did she actually do that?
No, it was on the news where there was some glorious footage got mixed up. Obviously, like someone in the back room
Oh,
at the
that's
BBC
right, yeah.
was pissing around, but it went out on BBC News. It went, and Theresa May goes to see if she can cut a new deal with the EU, and it was old footage of a Spitfire taking off.
Paul Merson dancing the football in the background.
On one of the wings.
I think they had to clarify that she didn't do that, which is fantastic.
That's what makes it very
But
good.
anyway, Everton, though,
Back to Everton.
this must be such a relief. Obviously, there's probably some trepidation as they hope that it all goes through, because there's been so much stuff hanging over them with the points deduction and the fears of relegation with the new stadium and the difficulties that would bring, all these different things, the way the team has played for a long time, the debt that's there, and also 777 looked like they would just be a different version of the same thing.
That looked awful.
They really, really did. So these guys look like they're serious and stable, and they're not sort of coming in promising the Champions League or anything, are they? It just seems like there's going to be a bit of calm and perhaps some sensible ownership for a bit, which must be such a relief for Everton fans.
Yeah.
Although if you're
Their record is mixed at Roma, though.
if you're Daniel De Rossi's people, you're probably not sure.
He's not going to get the job, is he? Anytime soon.
Well, maybe that's part of the master plan.
Is that-
maybe they've got rid of him at Roma,
So you have to explain that he was obviously installed as Roma manager.
given a massive contract. They fired him 4 games into the season. It's gone down so badly, not just with the fans, but the players as well, who have told the new interim, or wherever it is, that they're still with De Rossi and they fucking don't agree with it and all the rest of it. I'm just saying, like, with what Everton have been through, I totally understand the positivity around this. And it seems like, at the very least, the Friedkin Group have owned clubs before and have money, right? Which clearly has been a massive problem given the way the club's been run in the past with the points deduction and stuff like that. So if they can put that behind them, get themselves into a new stadium, which should be something they're really positive about,
Which they've said that they're going to
and have some calmer waters for a while, then that's obviously a good thing. But I'm just saying it's not all immediately and instantly rosy because it's someone new.
No, but considering, as Jim was talking about the situation they were in, the fact that 777 partners were interested, blah, 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 this is best case scenario, really. And that's the problem, though, with the current model in most of football, certainly in English football.
It takes some astonishingly wealthy billionaires to do anything.
You are at the behest completely of we used to be millionaires, now it's billionaires, so you just got to hope you get the least shit one, essentially, or group. And, John Textor was interested as well, couldn't sell his stake at Palace sort of quick enough. He was, we spoke
He's
about
also,
him.
he seems a bit of an idiot.
Yes, there is that.
The least.
But he was odd. We spoke about his comments the other week.
Yeah,
and it was almost as if he was kind of touting it, like, I can't believe, no one else is going to come in and trump my bid because I'm, all this sort of stuff, or somebody has come in. And I think we'd sum it up by saying it is best case scenario, really.
They're clearing the debt for one thing.
Yes, which is needing to happen. But let's hope it doesn't go south because we've seen this before.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sean Dyche will be looking for assurances because he's out of contract, I think, pretty soon. And obviously the deal hasn't actually been done yet, but they'll need to work out what they want to do because they've been linked with Southgate, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a funny one, that, isn't it? Because it does give pause because it seems like it's such an obvious link to make for an English club that it feels like something that someone with a lack of knowledge might make, like very easy dots to join. But at the same time,
people said the same thing about Man United.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, though, Southgate is going to land somewhere, isn't he? So
yeah, I'm still kind of intrigued. Obviously he's been very quiet since the Euros, as you'd expect. But he didn't hinted that he wouldn't mind a job, and he's been linked here and there. I just don't really see where he would. This
is it, isn't
go.
it? There doesn't feel like an obvious landing spot.
No, and certainly Everton, where it's been
chaotic.
It's been chaotic and it's been tough going. Surely, if you were looking for a way into the Premier League,
I just think the skills required to go into a top level, day-to-day club job are so far removed from what he's been used to that I don't think there's any guarantee at all that he can replicate that kind of feeling and that time he had.
Yeah,
doesn't mean he shouldn't do it. It's obviously up to him. Doesn't mean he won't be successful because obviously we don't know. But it feels very different.
Well, at the moment, it's just a little rumour.
It is.
And Shawnee D is very much in the job.
He is.
For now.
Yeah.
For now. Right then, let's move on to AFC Wimbledon. Now, we mentioned yesterday that their match against Newcastle, of course, was postponed. The pitch was in an absolute state.
Turned into a golf course overnight.
Yeah, there was
an actual sinkhole.
It's crazy, isn't it? Sinkholes. My goodness. So bad news for AFC Wimbledon. The game has, of course, been moved to St James's Park next week because more than 100,000 litres of water had to be pumped out of the stadium this week. So an apocalyptic scene at AFC Wimbledon. Now, a Just Giving page has been set up by one supporter to help the club, and it's already raised nearly £100,000. Now, the supporter in question was just hoping for maybe let's try and get to 10 grand, or it's more. Then it went over 50 grand. It's been quite incredible. A donor called Newcastle United donated £15,000. People are reporting that it is Newcastle United. I just want to see more evidence of that.
Right.
I mean, it has to be them, doesn't it? Who else is going to be giving up that kind of money? And
going by the name of Newcastle United?
Yeah.
I don't know, but we'll give them credit there. But it did take a turn when people started to draw our attention to some of the other donors. I want to bring Roger Todger Volley to light, who made a £5 donation and left this comment. I once bought a Jag off a guy called Pete, who looked like I'd ordered Jack Sparrow from Wish, but I had to sell it on immediately as the boot smelled strongly of piss.
Yeah, that'll be around.
Here's the profit I made on it, £5. So well done, Roger. Also, we had a donation, or they had a donation rather, of £20 from Barry Grintles.
Nice to hear his name.
Who said, "Stop, is it Jimmy Traore?" Hey, it's nice to hear from old Grintles, isn't it?
Yeah. Because people mocked you when you first suggested him as an answer for a quiz. A quiz question.
Well,
and he's alive and well.
And now look. What about this one? A donation from Rajesh Khosla.
Yeah.
Who said, "You made me a very wealthy man when we teamed up to screw over Kingstonian, so I can only return the favour." £2. Look, would you like to explain it to anybody?
I feel bad doing it when Andy's not here to defend himself and his honour and his club's honour. But
he'll be fuming.
Costa is the guy who sold sold the ground to Wimbledon for £2 million. I think he pocketed quite a lot of the money himself. So
Yeah.
it's good to see him paying a bit back.
Yeah, he's a
Bit by
controversial
bit.
figure when it comes to AFC Wimbledon and
To say the
Kingstonian
least.
and all the rest of it. We'll leave that there before non-league fans.
Randy just bursting in like Vince McMahon.
Well, hopefully AFC Wimbledon can get the pitch back soon enough, and I would imagine that money will help enormously. So well done to Barry, well done to Rajesh, and well done to Roger there.
I
and
don't
co.
think that was Rajesh Khosla.
And well done to Newcastle United.
Yeah.
Who we think it probably was. All right, tonight, Manchester United are back in the Europa League, playing in the what can only be described as the Steve McLaren derby.
Yeah.
They're playing FC Twente, of course. Arsenal hosts Bolton in
Not in the Europa League.
in the Carabao
That'd
Cup.
be amazing draw in the Europa
Yeah,
League, that,
otherwise
wouldn't
known as the Jack Wilshere derby.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Liverpool.
Keep going with these. Keep
Liverpool
going.
host West Ham in the Carabao Cup, otherwise known as the Rigobert Song derby.
Ooh, I would have gone Paul Konchesky or Julian Dix, but either way it works.
it? Andy Carroll?
Andy Carroll.
Andy
would have-
Carroll,
would have
there we
been
go.
one.
That's more up your street.
Or Joe
surely.
Cole.
Joe
Yeah.
Cole, there's loads.
There is
There's
loads.
absolutely
We'll
loads.
stop there.
Give me some more. No, don't stop. Give me some more fixtures.
The Europa League is mirroring the Champions League format, with each side facing 8 different teams in a league of 36.
What about AZ Alkmaar versus Elfsborg? What derby would you call that?
I don't think that is a derby.
Think of a player that's played for both.
AZ Alkmaar and who else?
Elfsborg.
Did Louis van Gaal manage Elfsborg? Man United, yes, they've got FC Twente at home. Porto away, that's a good tie.
Yeah.
Lovely tie.
Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce away.
Oh,
Come on, it's what we want.
Ten Hag's going to be eaten up. He's
Oh
going to be
my
eaten up.
Will Jose still be as tanned as he was
He's gonna be-
when he first went there?
He's going to be Ten Hag is going to be aggressively whisper shouting that United are the best team in Europe as Mourinho shoving him down his gob.
Yeah.
Just sucking the meat out of his marrow out of his
Love it.
bones.
Absolutely. I mean, that is the tie, really, isn't it? I think Porto away and Fenerbahce away. I mean, Rangers at home is not bad, but they'll be heavy favourites for that.
Yeah.
And one or two others, and they've got Pauk at home. Was that Nutter who was it? Was it Pauk, the owner who came on the pitch with a gun?
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
They're
so-
actually playing Galatasaray tonight away.
Are they?
Be a good tasty one.
That will be tasty, absolutely, especially if he brings his gun. I think there's an argument.
I don't think he's
actually-
around anymore. Yeah.
There's an argument here, I think, that the Europa League suits the new format a bit better.
You know-
Because if you look through the teams in it, it's not as immediately obvious who you'd expect the top 8 to be. I think it's a little...
See what you mean?
Yeah. Is that a dig at
little
Man
more
United as well,
balanced.
Jim?
No, I think they're obviously one of the favourites in there, them and Tottenham. But,
I wouldn't
Yeah,
have, I wouldn't have Tottenham as favourites for the Europa League.
well, I mean...
Would you?
No, he's saying
in
top 8,
terms
though.
of- in the top
Right.
8, I think those two will probably
Yeah, they could
stroll
finish
into
7th
that.
or 8th.
Yeah.
You see?
I suppose so,
There
yeah.
you are. So you look at it like that.
I mean, Man United are the favourites to win it. Spurs are second favourites, and Roma, Athletic Bilbao and Roma are kind of joint third favourites. So that tells its own story, I guess.
Blimey. You just know it won't end up like that.
The real values in Union Saint-Gilloise, 100 to 1,
There you go.
and Karabag, who I think Spurs play this week, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
I think Spurs play Karabag.
Yes, they do. They do.
Yeah.
In the Carabao Cup.
Tomorrow night.
Excellent. Well, have a quid on them, everybody. Now, you mentioned Roma there. Former Roma and Manchester United man, Chris Smalling, of course, is playing in Saudi Arabia. Now, we mentioned him the other day when we were talking about Ivan Toney getting a couple of goals on his debut. Then Chris Smalling's debut didn't work out as well. Did you see what he tweeted on Monday after that?
Yeah, it reads like a forfeit, doesn't it?
You think to yourself, is he going to sort of say, "Oh, sorry about that," because some players do. Not that I particularly want to see that necessarily, but yeah. So I know what you mean. Look, it does feel like that he's being punished, and in being punished, he presumably had to tweet this: "The line." A cognitive city stretching across 170 kilometres from the mountains of Neom across desert valleys to the Red Sea. A mirrored architectural masterpiece towering 500 metres above sea level, but a land saving 200 metres wide. Unique solar and wind advantages for 100% clean energy. Protection, preservation and regeneration sit at the core of Neom's model. Hashtag Saudi National Day 94. Hashtag We Dream and Achieve.
Hashtag dystopia.
So, I mean, it's not the usual tone of a player post-match to say something, is it?
Do they all have to do that? Is it in the contract?
Was there a gun held to his head?
I wish it said like we've seen before. I wish it just said at the start, just post something like,
Yeah. It's sensational. Didn't realise he was so into this stuff.
It's as Jim says, completely dystopian. It's totally like you've been there 5 minutes and you're already getting the copy and paste jobs from the Saudi authorities to post on your Twitter account as quite a big pro to 1.7 million followers in the same week or since we had the Saudi Arabian national anthem in a fight between two British fighters at Wembley Stadium at the weekend. It is bad. You can defend it all you like, but this stuff's happening.
I love how who are they expecting that to land with?
I know exactly.
Us to all go, oh bloody hell! Chris Smalling's endorsing it.
I know.
You know?
And so I mean, he's also a patron of Football Beyond Borders, which is potentially.
Well, if he's a patron of the Football Ramble, sort it out, Chris.
No. Donate your money to AFC Wimbledon. Write what you want in that. Do a donation on the AFC Wimbledon Just Giving, and then write about the line.
That's what free speech looks like, baby.
Yeah, they dream and achieve as well.
Yeah, if you want to do anything. Fucking power Wimbledon Stadium 500 metres above sea level. They need it.
They bloody do need it.
Won't be flooded then, will it?
It'd be a strange sort of offshoot of man-made mountain in South London, wouldn't it? But there we are.
Plough Lane higher than the Shard.
Oh dear.
Oh, you got to get a lift fucking 150 stories up to play.
But Brassel would like it though because he could use that helicopter of his to land.
Well, he's already in an ivory tower anyway, so it makes sense.
Thank you for watching a clip from the Football Ramble podcast. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an upload. A single upload. Don't miss out on the uploads. The uploads are important.